we all, what is the first thing I would like to say is, we all struggle to complete one PhD. I think many of us will agree. Completing one PhD is a very big challenge to us. But sir has remarkably has done two doctorates. So he has done doctorates in economics, and sir has done his doctorate in education. And sir is a member of ACCA, Associate of Chartered Certified Accountant of UK, and he is a FCS Fellow of Company Secretaries of India. And he also holds BL, PGD, PM, that is post graduation in labor management. And he has never left even the B.Ed. He has also completed his B.Ed, and he has been with industry. So he was an industry expert for more than 2 decades, and he worked as a president, managing director, and senior general manager. And he has held several senior posts, and he has been a company secretary in leading companies for over 26 years. And he has never left academics also. Sir was a professor in Madras University, and he is an advisor of many companies on finance and legal matters. And he has contributed to students and academicians and to others by writing a lot of books. He has written books on economy, finance, and education, and he has submitted many technical papers in national and international forum on issues related to economy and financial issues. And he has spoken on many international forums, and has been a speaker of many universities, and he has received many awards, national and international awards. And he is also an edupreneur. He has started his own school, and which serves with a which has an ISO, and which is serving the students with a societal motive. And it has been awarded as the best international school from British Council, a very remarkable award. And being on the school, sir has collaboration with 25 countries. As academician, we all try to have international collaboration, but for the students, sir has contributed it, and he has given them that exposure of having association with 25 countries. And he has been an ardent reader, and he has been a passionate traveler. He has traveled to many part of countries, and he has shared his education and cultural ideas of to different countries. And he sir has visited more than 100 countries, and there are so many things to say about Dr. Ramasubramanian sir, but I have a very limited time, and it is a gist. And I'm very honored, sir. It is not just by words I'm meaning it, but I'm really honored to introduce you to this eminent crowd. Thank you for your time for being with us, sir. And I don't want to take much of your time. Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Dr. P. Priyadarshini. My sincere thanks to Tagore Engineering College, Professor Dr. K. Maran, Director of Sairam Institute of Management, for having invited me to speak on this leadership strategies post COVID-19 environment through this webinar among the top faculty members of various renowned universities around the world. I am really honored. Thank you once again to all of you. And I would like to say a very big thanks to each and everyone, and my pranams and good evening to each and every one of you. At the outset, I would like to say something about this COVID-19 and the consequential changes that are taking place. This COVID-19 has completely thrown the world out of gear and has dragged the global economy to a very record low level. No one can predict as to what is in store and when the normalcy will be restored. There were precedents like this earlier too, from 1918 to 1920. The Spanish flu, as all of us know, Spanish. What? Any problem?
Participants, can you mute yourself?
Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Someone has unmute themselves. We'll
Okay,
mute them,
all
sir.
right, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
Thank you,
Sorry
thank you.
for the interruption.
No problem.
Thank you.
So this Spanish flu shattered the world, resulting in the death of 50 to 100 million people, or 3 to 6% of the global population. This is one of the reasons for ending this first World War. That speaks volumes about the pandemic and the resultant end of the World War number one. Likewise, the Asian flu during 1957-58, SARS 2002, 2004, etc., have played havoc in the world, causing severe damage to uh, the global economy, pushing millions of people to utter poverty and acute hunger. The same is being replicated with more vigor and extraordinary damage to the world. The recent UN report mentions that over 250 million people are at the risk of acute hunger, and 400 new workers are under the risk of slipping into extreme poverty of less than $1.9 a day. What is more worrying is the fact that the location of the global poverty is likely to shift towards the middle income countries, South Asia, and East Asia, and the impact could intensify because of the pre existing conditions of fragmented or insufficient social protection systems, and could last for years to come. Even prior to this COVID-19 pandemic, the global economy was showing a downward trend. I hope all of you know about it. It is not because of pandemic the economy is slowing down. Even prior to that, it has been happening, and this has started possibly from 2017 in a great scale, because of President Trump of USA started wrecking the trade and the political relations with Europe. All of you know about his strained relationship with Germany, etc., Japan, India. He started imposing some tariff on India also, and other traditional allies. The condition got aggravated to US China trade war. So on China, he imposed severe trade barriers, and China retaliated with the $200 billion tariff. This has been going on. But the global economic growth projection on account of the COVID-19 is highly bleak and very disturbing for 2020 in comparison with 2019. Some of the details I would like to read. For the world in 2019 showed a growth of 2.9 percentage, but it is estimated in 2020 as minus 4.9%. USA had a growth of 2.3% in 2019, and that is minus 8%. Advanced countries like Japan, Europe, and Germany, France, Australia, etc., they showed a growth of 1.7%, and now it is minus 8%. China, the number two economy in the world, showed 6.1% growth in 2019. Now this year it is 2000, that is 2020, it is going to be minus 1%. Probably it may be slightly more, because the second quarter result shows some improvement. Therefore it may not be even minus. That is what I suppose. Next is India. It is 4.2% in 2019, and it is expected to be around minus 4.5%. Probably it could be even slightly more than that. Developing economies, that was around 3.7%, and it is going to end at minus 3% in the year 2020. So this is a very dismal picture, very dismal picture. If the pandemic conditions disappear in 2020, there is a likelihood of U-shaped economic recovery. I do not know whether it is going to in 2020, or there are some reports that it might extend to 2021 also. Assuming that this disappears in 2020, there is a likelihood of this U-shaped economic recovery. It is not going to be certainly V-shaped, because it is a sudden rise. That is not going to happen at all. It is going to be slow, and the slower growth only will happen. So that is going to be a U-shaped growth, and it is not going to be a V-shaped growth. These are all some issues we have to know about. Various countries, whenever there is a problem, even in 2009 or 2008, 2009, the world has pumped in something like $4 trillion as a stimulus package. Now, from arising out of this pandemic, to deal with the pandemic, people will have to be supported with the monetary benefits. So various countries have announced a stimulus, and the global outlay is around $10 trillion, which is quite significant so far. But anyway, whether it is going to be beneficial, it will have to be seen only during the rest of time. For a simple reason, we do not know when it is going to end, as all of us know about. As far as India is concerned, it is very sad that our problem, economic problem, is not something very very serious in the year 2020 or 2019. It actually started. The sad story started since 2015 itself. The economic growth got stunted, and it got aggravated on account of unprecedented, two important, thoughtless decisions, I would say. Maybe some may agree or may not agree, but I am very clear, because this is what I have been talking in various forums. I would like to reiterate that. One is demonetization. 86% of the currency has been in a stroke. Just in 3 hours or 4 hours time, got vanquished. It became nothing in about 4 hours time. So demonetization is one very serious wrong decision, and the poorly planned and executed goods and services taxes, which is worldwide known as VAT, value-added tax. Here again, I would like to give a small example.
Yes, continue. And based on that, I can take it by
Problem? Yeah, let me continue. So this goods and service tax, though it is a welcome measure, it has not been properly planned and implemented. That improper implementation of GST has also had a very negative impact on the economy of India. These two measures, for example, nearby UAE, they took nearly 2 to 2.5 years to decide as to what should be they decided about the 5% as a VAT. But even for finalizing that, they took a time of about 2 to 2.5 years. But here in a jiffy, that has been done. So what is wrong? So these are all some issues I just would like to mention. Uh, then there are two measures impacting these two issues. Two measures have had a very serious impact on the Indian economy, resulting in unprecedented unemployment of over 8.4%, closure of so many micro, small, medium-sized enterprises, MSME, which are the backbone of India in so many ways, contributing to over 8% of the GDP, providing employment to about 110 million workers, exporting over 40% of the total exports of the country. So these are all contributions from MSME. In short, it represents 45% of the manufacturing of the country, 40% of the exports, 69% of the employment. but this got a very severe jolt. It is the biggest employer after agriculture sector. That is, I am talking now about India. So the Indian economic problem was prior to COVID-19. What was the problem? It is lack of demand and not supply. There was supply, but there was lack of demand because the purchasing power of the people has dwindled very considerably. Even after COVID-19, the conditions remain the same despite stimulus announcement made. Prior to COVID-19, most of the discussions were, let me now say, as far as India is concerned, it is claimed that about 10% of the GDP has been allocated as a stimulus during this COVID period. But actually, what has gone into the hands of the people is something like 1% only. Prior to COVID-19, most of the discussions were all about China, China, China. China has become the number 2 economy in the world by 2010, and by 2013, it became the largest trading nation in the world. Most of the countries in the world are dependent on China, and over $2 trillion have been invested. Over $2 trillion have been invested in the One Belt, One Road, which is now called as a Belt and Road project, covering about 120 countries. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So these are all, as far as China, I have given some details. Now, US was the manufacturing hub of the world earlier, but has slowly shifted to stock market and financial sector. It is very unfortunate because all brainy people who are to be in the manufacturing side have opted for jobs in the financial sector or stock market. So their brains have been used in these financial issues rather than on the manufacturing side. The best brains have been brought into USA, leaving the manufacturing activities to the other countries. That is very sad. Uh, other countries, and it started outsourcing its requirements. Some years back, I still remember that the Forbes magazine, all of us know, is one of the best magazine in the world. That has mentioned in USA, in the name of cost cutting and environmental protection, 9,000 industries have been given up. 9,000 industries. So when they don't want, I still remember I was working in a foundry at that time. That was supposed to be, we were making valve castings, valve body castings. We got a very huge order from USA because they did not want to touch it even by a barge pole. They said it is environmentally unfriendly. So what was considered to be a bane for USA has become a boon for India, and we flourished and we became the best exporter in the country. So this is one aspect. This has given a tremendous booster for countries like India, and also mainly mainly to China, mainly to China, to become the world's manufacturing hub. In the last 20 years, in the last August 2019, I had a visit to Vienna University of Economics and Business. The discussion was primarily on China's grip over the globe. A research paper presented by the Oxford University highlighted that in 3 to 5 years, 47% of the jobs will be lost. I am talking this paper. This was all presented in the year August 2019. I'm just recollecting that. In the research paper was by Oxford University. It said that in 3 to 5 years, 47% of the jobs will be lost and 80% of the companies would vanish. The main reason would be the most modern technologies, and that will not be adopted by these companies. Therefore, many will lose their jobs. Many companies will go out of circulation. So the most important modern technology, as all of us know, are the following. One is robotics. Number two, artificial intelligence. Number three, big data. Four, Internet of Things. And five, blockchain chains. These are all very highly technology oriented, and China is concentrating on these high technology. It is not merely a manufacturer of low quality items. That is how the world was claiming, but it is not so. Now it is more on technology. The paper that I'm talking about, the Oxford University paper, highlighted that China has mastered all these technologies to a very great extent, and above all, announced a very highly ambitious program, Made in China 2025 plan. Made in China 2025 plan. This plan identifies the top 10 industries. These top 10 industries are supposed to be in the domain of USA. What are they? Number one, next generation information technology. Number two, high-end numerical machinery and robotics. Number three, aerospace aviation equipment. Number four, maritime engineering equipment and high-tech maritime vessel manufacturing. Number five, advanced rail equipment. Number six, energy saving and new energy vehicles. Number seven, electrical equipments. Number eight, new materials. Number nine, biomedicines, high performance medical devices. And number 10, agricultural machineries and equipments. These top technology oriented industries are now heavily concentrated by China, and that has become a burning issue for USA. They feel terribly threatened because of China. So, despite all these severe restrictions and ban on China, China has made a huge technological strides, even as USA loses its steam. China has become the world number technological areas in many areas in 5G. All of us know about the 5G, the telecom of the future. China's Huawei is well ahead of the competitions from Sweden's Ericsson. They may say that we are going to beat China. I have very big doubt about that. From Sweden's Ericsson, Korea's Samsung, and Finland's Nokia. Amazingly, no US company is in contention. It is nowhere seen to be seen at all. Globalization has its own advantages and disadvantages. But the reality is, why I am talking about China, I would end my speech how it is very significant, how the technology, all these things will be covered by me at the end of my talk. So globalization definitely has its own advantage. It has got its disadvantage. But the reality is one country has to depend on another for the best products at a cheaper cost and continue the supply chains uninterruptedly. This is a very important message that I would like to give to all of you. uh, COVID-19 will not make any difference. Countries may become self-centered in their at their own peril. See, now we are talking about self-sufficiency. We have to develop our own market. We have to develop our own manufacture. We have to increase the consumption within our country. So lesser dependence on other countries. This is how we are talking. We all the countries now seem to think on these lines. Whether that is going to be really beneficial after this COVID-19, this is the talk of the entire world. So, secondly, it becomes a self-centered issue, and it may be done at the peril of each country, because you have to necessarily depend on other countries for goods and services which are absolutely essential. Secondly, topmost priority has to be given for technological advancement. This is one issue. And health is wealth. Now we are realizing that China, after the problem, all of us are now talking about health. Health is wealth of the nation, and this is also focused by China. The problem started with China, and it has been contained by China within a very short span of time. So now China is planning healthy China 2030. The young population has to be strengthened with. So this is one important issue. We have to give focus on health. The health sector has to be given a very high importance, and that is being given by China, and we must take the lead from China. The young population has to be. Please appreciate that I am not a spokesperson for China, but what is the reality? I am just sharing with you. Whatever I feel like, I would like to share with you. The young population has to be strengthened with a top quality education. Very high top quality education has to be given. So, as far as India is concerned, India has woefully under appreciated this and started the new mantra Atma Nirbhar. What is it? That is self-sufficiency. This is an unfortunate, I mean, even earlier, during the period of Jawaharlal Nehru, we talked about self-sufficiency, but that failed miserably. Industries covering the behind the protective trade walls will never beat China. If you have trade barriers, I'm afraid you will not be able to grow exponentially. So you cannot. It is very difficult to beat any country, China, economically or strategically. That there is no point in still accusing China using cheap labor or dumping cheap exports into every part of the world. I'm afraid that is not going to be of any help. So for decades, Intel was a leader in microchips, doubling their computing power every 2 years. But suddenly, Intel has fallen full generation. Taiwan's semiconductor in microchips, it has fallen behind that. Even France Notre Dame Cathedral, I was reading a beautiful article written by Swaminathan Anklesh Iyer of Economic Times. He has quoted this. Even France Notre Dame Cathedral got a fire when it was that, Chinese drones were used to guide the firefighters since they were the best. Jinko Solar, I mean, solar power is in the hands of China. It is the supreme power as far as solar power is concerned. Jinko Solar is the world's biggest supplier of solar cells and panels, and China battery companies are forging ahead. So if you just look at all this, neither India, I would like to say, therefore, once again, I would like to reiterate, I am not a spokesperson for China, but you have to take some cue, you have to take some lessons. How it is going to be, that is very, very essential. How it is going to be, we have to be looking around, and this trade barriers, the mantra of self-sufficiency, all these are wonderful, but whether it is going to be really beneficial to the country in the long run remains to be seen, because China and India were in the same boat till 1980s. But the growth of China is something extraordinary. That is as I mentioned earlier, China is number two economic power in the world. And as far as global trade is concerned, it has attained the position as number one, numero uno, in the year 2013. So, in all probability, I feel that China would take a lead, and probably in another 3-4 years down the road, it may beat even USA. Things are looking like that, because they are concentrating on the top technology. They are concentrating on companies or industries which are highly technology oriented. So that is going to be the issue. So after this COVID-19, what is going to happen? We have to sit together. That is, the world will realize that dependence on each and every country is a must. You cannot do business with yourself. You have to necessarily take certain goods and services from others on the basis of quality and cost. Likewise, you must encourage your own industries and services and try to export, enhance. I mean, definitely, I bet on India also because in spite of so many wrong decisions taken by India, India has got potential and we have got a fantastic young population. Highly, I mean, though it may be a small segment, we have those youngsters as highly skilled people. Neither India nor the world will be able to compete with China by producing high cost goods behind high tariff walls. I have mentioned that. I would like to once again reiterate that. It can win only by producing the best goods in the world. It can win only by producing the best goods in the world, by developing the best technology in collaboration with the best collaborative. I mean, you have to necessarily have to have good collaborations with the other countries. A good collaboration it should be. This means not the self-sufficiency, but by joining with the other democracies to create high-tech value chains in which India becomes indispensable because of its high skills. So this is how I would like to summarize. That is the COVID-19. Yes, it has thrown so many number of problems, but however, we can get over all this. That is, I am not talking about India alone. I am talking because we have faculty members from all over the world. Yes, we all of us will have to concentrate on high tech. There are two important focus issues which are to be focused. One is very high technology. Then second point, nourish your youngsters and give them the top quality education. These two are very essential. And the third one is here every country will have to give priority for health. So these are all certain issues after COVID-19. What is going to be happening? This is what I feel. That is leadership strategy on resilience of global economy. This is the topic that has been given to me. The leadership will have to be on these parameters, I feel. This is all I would like to say because I've been given about 30 minutes time to talk about, and I leave the space to friends here. Whatever you feel like, whatever you would like to talk to me, and you need some clarification from me, you are most welcome. Yeah, big thanks to each and every one of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A very vibrant session, sir.
Thank you.
You have touched upon so many things, and it is very always it is very challenging to talk on these topics. And very good thing what that I have taken is anything good is done by whoever it is. We should take the good things. You said like about China, how they have been progressing, and you wanted our youngsters to be like qualified to that extent, and they need to be trained. So that's all is a very valuable point. Now
Yeah,
people are talking, everyone is talking against a few country, that is not right.
yeah,
So a very positive approach. And you it says that you are an economist, how you analyzed all the perspectives, and it was very inspiring to academicians like us. Thank you, sir.
thank you very
And
much.
thank you, sir. And the floor is given to the participants. So if you have any questions or you want any ideas for discussion, you can just post it to sir. Any questions from the participants? Any questions? You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat box. Someone wants to ask something? Any questions? What about
Yeah, okay. Uh,
we have a question, sir. What about labor issues in China
yes,
versus
yeah.
India?
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you all about this labor matters in China and India. This is a very valid point. Unfortunately, the uh, India, we have a huge number of labor force, but labor force, they are not is not very much trained. We have to spend quite a lot of money on equipping them, but cost wise, it may be cheaper in comparison with China. But China, vocational training is given at various levels, and that China, there is a point. China is exploiting the labor. That is yes, I have also personally seen. They will not look here and there. They will be definitely doing the work because they have to make money. If it is 8 hours duty or 9 hours duty, uh, you go to Indian side, you can talk to the laborers directly. But in China, they will be concentrating only on the work because they have to earn money. And second point, here, in a recent issue as far as labor is concerned, so their productivity is very high. Cost wise, it has gone up definitely, but the productivity is much higher than India. That is one point. Second point, during this COVID 19, there is a decision taken, and increasing the working hours from 8 to 12 hours, and some of the labor beneficial statutory protections are taken away. So it is almost like China. If you are accusing China, the same is happening here also. Because in the name of opening out the doors for everybody, you are giving the message that India is also a place where laborers can be exploited. I don't know how it is going to be in the long run, because I'm very much worried that labor laws, they are all being diluted very considerably in India also.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any
Uh,
other question?
okay. How the cost is, yes, sir, it is a very nice question. How
Yeah.
is the cost is too low of the product? That is, how do we have a very less price strategy?
But that is in China.
Yes, sir, I think,
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back and let me run down my memory lane. I was in the leather industry several years back. I was a financial controller and company secretary. I went to Milan. That was the first visit. That is in the year 1978. I went to Milan. That is when international leather fair was taking place there. People, when our products are sold at some particular X price, but China, it was always X minus. I was wondering how it happens, whether the human leather is being used because the population is very high. So I was talking jocularly like that. But anyway, it is because of the mass production. That is because of the mass production, the cost is coming down. That is one aspect. Second point, earlier they used to say that it is the total manufacture of the country that is taken into consideration. But now there are many companies which are closing down because the China government has given very clear instruction that you have to be cost effective. You must be cost effective, and if you don't be positive or profitable, then the unit will have to be closed. I have seen so many companies closing down. So it is because of the mass production they are able to contain the cost.
Okay. Yes, sir. So it is a mass production.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So, sir, you have traveled different countries, no, sir?
Yes.
So, which country has impressed you much?
But each country is interesting in some aspect, definitely. Uh, I had an occasion to visit extensively China several times, and recently during the month of November and December, I
Okay.
was traveling in China. That is quite the facilities are very very fabulous. The infrastructure, the slogan that is given by China is to develop your economy, build roads and infrastructure. So that is the slogan in China. So I am impressed by the growth of China, despite so many minus points. That is one. Uh, Otherwise, every country has its own advantage and disadvantage. Of course, USA is a fabulous country in terms of the freedoms that one can enjoy. So that is one. And Germany, yes, I must mention about Germany because you have a lot of people women with the skills, highly been trained in various trades. They are being trained. So Germany is another country, which is very attractive to me. Then work culture, the honesty, all those aspects you can see in total in Japan. These are all some countries which I would like to. Each country is in its own way is very good. But these are all some of the countries which I thought during this brief period I can mention about.
Great, sir. So any other questions, participant? If there are no further questions. Any questions? So hope there are no other questions, sir. So thank you, sir. And thank you for a very informative session and like eye-opening session and a different perspective discussion session and where we learn positivity and everything. So it was very nice, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
for
you very much, Tame. Thank you very much because you are all in the academic side. So my focus is on the youth. They have to be given the top quality education, and that is the biggest asset of the country.
exactly, sir.
So for any country, for that matter. So I hope that will happen
That's
through
very
your
good.
efforts because you are all in the field of education and you people can give the best to the youngsters. Thank you very much. I am really honored to be amidst all of you today evening.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. We take
Thank you.
your words on behalf of all the other academicians. We take up the responsibility of empowering our youth and how the best we could deliver them, we will do it, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being
Thank you
with
very
us.
much. Thank you very much.
And thank you, participants, for being with us. And kindly fill the feedback form, which is posted on the chat. And I think this new feedback has also been posted. So thank you all. Thank you for being with us for the last 6 days of FDP on leadership strategies. Thank you all, and we'll wind up the session. And you'll be getting the certificates in a week of time, and we'll post it in the group. And we'll share a number where you can inquire for any missed certificate. If you have any other feedback, you can just share it in this forum.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us, sir.